বসে কিশোরী মধুর বৃন্দাবনে মধুর বৃন্দাবনে আয়াতে ভুবনে একা শুনে বসে কিশোরী মধুর বৃন্দাবনে Ladies and gentlemen, Padmaja.
भाई फोटो के लिए बुलाओ ना
Just going to not waste any time and uh, get the designers to take center stage. Padmaja, tell us a little bit about the collection that you had. What it, about the collection, about showcasing at Fashion Week, and about choosing Malvika for the runway.
Hi everyone. The collection is called Ayahuma, and Ayahuma means the spirit of nature. So it's a collection that's inspired and that brings in the spirit of nature in the clothing that we wear, which is in terms of the natural fibers, it's with the natural dyes. So all the colors that you see in this collection, they are all derived from recycled flowers and fruits. So that's, and the other thing that we've gotten from nature is the inspiration in terms of the pleats and tucks and everything, which comes from the kind of folds and ripples that you see, folds of the leaves or folds of anything else in the nature, as well as the kind of textures that you find around. So that is about the collection. And
about coming back to Lakme Fashion Week.
Coming back to Lakme Fashion Week, well, Lakme Fashion Week always has an energy to it, which is always infectious. So and it's fun, and that's what brings us all here, I think, the energy levels here. And with Malvika, I think our association goes back very long, and she's someone who I totally identify with a kind of, I feel that there's some ethos that we share as well. And we've done shoots together before. So there's almost no reason, or rather there's every reason to see her as my muse, or as someone who's wearing my clothes. So I think she's a perfect brand ambassador, yes, in that sense, with her being a young, absolutely dynamic actress who's doing great, interesting stuff. So that's exactly what we want in terms of the aesthetics as well.
Yes, yes.
So that's how I connect.
Malvika, tell us a little bit about when Padmaja approached you to work for her, about what did you think about her collection, about what she decided that you would be sporting, your overall thoughts.
Well, like Padmaja just mentioned, we've known each other for a while.
Apologies to everybody.
As I was saying, so we've been family friends for a few years, and also, like she mentioned, we share very similar ideologies when it comes to fashion and textiles and our love for just cloth, you know. We love it. We have very similar aesthetics, and so it makes it very easy to work together. It makes the whole process a lot of fun. So, which is why I really wanted to do this show. In fact, I borderline called her and I was like, Patty, I want to work for you, you know. I think it'll be so much fun. It's fun to work with people who share the same wavelength. Also, she comes from a school of thought that I really love: sustainability, handloom, Indian textiles, natural dyes, the kind of color palettes, earth, nature, you know. These are things that really excite me when it comes to fabrics. So,
We
yeah.
absolutely enjoyed having you again on the ramp today. Thank you very much. You look gorgeous. Over to the men in the room now. May I start with Soham? Soham, tell us about your inspiration, thoughts, everything about coming back to Lakme Fashion Week and presenting with your collection. This has been a fantastic evening. Thank you all. I'm going to open the room for questions.
जी क्या क्या करने के लिए सब मतलब like I've grown up in a household where, you know, like I've grown up around my mother's cotton sarees, and it's been such an integral part of our culture ki it doesn't seem like a different entity or a different thing. It's a part of you know, my household. Growing up, I've been wearing handlooms since you know, I've been a kid, and I love wearing cotton sarees, and so I hope. I mean, yeah, no, like we've had so many conversations about this, right? Like sustainable. Um, but I think it's very important that, especially now, we be more aware of and be more responsible of how our actions affect the environment. You know, globally, because fast fashion is quite harmful to the planet. So sustainability, it's always good to come back to, you know.
We also know that right now there are fashion weeks across the world which are being also sabotaged. There are people who are saying stop London Fashion Week and stop Stockholm Fashion Week. So, you know, I think a day like Sustainable Fashion Day, and for somebody like Malvika, who's a young actress, to kind of stand for this, and for all of us as designers to work for it, and for you as media to write about it. I think this is, I mean, every medium has is a form of expression, and we need to push it. And each one of us has a role to play in that. So it is not just that we wear a handloom or we buy one particular textile, but it's also about adapting it in our whole lifestyle. You know, it exists from morning to night. And surely we are not perfected anything, you know. Even today, I'm sure we all are drinking from plastic bottles. We all have flown in aircrafts, or we all are coming through cars. So I would never claim that we are perfectly sustainable. No, we are not. We are only attempting in one role. At least we are trying to make sure that our businesses or our action is not creating more trash. For sure, the whole system to change, it requires every one of us in this room to change and every one of us in this world to change. You know? But it will happen with each one changing, because we can't wait for everyone to change. There are a lot of people who say that change always begins with one person. We cannot wait for everybody and say, let everybody do and then we do. So. I would say, you know, the cost of fast fashion is much more. The cost that we all collectively bear with fast fashion is much, much more. And if we really feel that, you know, for sure it is very, very difficult today if I want to make organic food, you know how hard I have to work to grow that organic vegetables, make sure that the land is cleared up of all the earlier, you know, the toxins that it has, and then make sure that it is fresh food, that it's not refrigerated. I can tell you something, like I grew up in a household where my father never ever had a fridge. I grew up entirely because he said, I will never have old food. So there are things like that. So do we have the courage to do that today? It's very difficult. So if you do that, you know what it costs is time. And time is money. So if you're going to spend time doing anything, whether it's growing food, whether it's making clothes, whether it is whatever, you know, building a home, if you're going to do it slowly, mindfully, thoughtfully, it has to be cut away from economics somewhere. You know, if you stick to the economics part of it, then it's always justified that कि हाँ आप सस्ता खरीदो और सस्ता खरीद के क्या हो रहा है? We are manufacturing so much today, and so much of it is trashed. We all know there's so many big brands today which are closing shops across the world because they have overproduced and there is no one to buy. The people who are buying, they're wearing it once and throwing it away. I would personally say